Hi everyone, this is Thomas Hyman, founder and CEO of Realty Partners, and I want to thank you all for joining me. I'm going to record this webinar presentation, and today's meeting really is primarily intended as a training session for agents that we have that are already part of Realty Partners, already recruiting and helping spread the opportunity, so to speak. But I also wanted to make this available to some agents that are right now looking at Realty Partners. And so we have several people on the call right now that are looking at Realty Partners for the first time, and I want to welcome you very much. And we have about 14, 15 people on this presentation right now. So the purpose of this presentation, again, is to really explain how does the revenue sharing program work. And this is going to be a whiteboard presentation. And you have the ability to ask questions. There's a Q&A function. And later towards the end of the event, I'm going to go ahead and look at those questions. Most of them will probably be answered throughout the presentation. So without any further ado, let me get started. So looking at Realty Partners, just a couple of interesting facts. We're still a very, very young company. We launched our revenue sharing program January 1st of last year. So it's been in fact a little bit over a year now, a year and 4 or 5 months. Our company is starting to experience some exponential growth. Over the last year, we've grown fourfold, and that growth curve is continuing to expand. On the revenue production, when an agent joins the company, it usually takes a while until they actually have their first closings and start to contribute revenue to the company. We are experiencing even more significant growth. Compensation paid out through the revenue sharing program is about 6 times this year to date what it was last year to date. And I fully expect the company to grow by a factor of 10x this year and beyond that. So we're at a very, very exciting point in time. And I welcome you all on board. So I'm going to go ahead and share my my whiteboard, which I'm using an iPad application. And I'm going to use this application to go through the different sections of our revenue sharing program and delve in deeper how the different functions work. The thing that's really most exciting about Realty Partners is that there are 3 major sources of residual income or benefit, if you will so. And the first one, of course, is the revenue sharing. And that's where I'm going to really dig in deep today. But there are 2 other ones. The second one is profit sharing. And the third one is, of course, the equity ownership. And the 3 are related with each other, and they somewhat work hand in hand, but there are some differences, and I want to point them out to you. First of all, the first way that the 3 are related is that in order to advance on our ranking scale, we have associate, junior partner, partner, senior partner, you really have to help spread the word about Realty Partners in order to get to the junior partner levels or above. So to become a junior partner, or senior partner, the only way you're going to get there is by helping spread the word about Realty Partners and our company structure to grow through word of mouth. And as you do that, once you refer to people, you automatically qualify for the revenue sharing. So the revenue sharing and the profit sharing go hand in hand. And As you climb up the ranks, your profit sharing share will grow, as will your revenue sharing potential, because there is a cap on your weekly maximum earnings based on your position. So if you're a partner, you can make a lot more money than if you are an associate or haven't qualified for any ranks. And then, of course, the equity ownership kicks in once you have qualified 5 years in a row under the profit sharing. So you qualify for profit sharing and you qualify 5 years in a row. Now you become permanently vested and you're an equity owner. And at that point, number one, you'll get some tax benefits because your earnings will be treated differently. But most importantly, you no longer have to requalify, and you can do with your equity ownership shares as you please. In other words, you can transfer them, you can sell them, you can pass them on to your heirs, you can put them in the trust, and it becomes a perpetual benefit. So there's no time limit on the equity ownership, and it's truly something enduring that you can pass down to your heirs, to your family. So the second thing that is different between the revenue sharing and the profit sharing is what it is being paid out on. So the revenue sharing is paid out weekly, so it's now money as opposed to an annual income based on profits of the corporation. It's paid weekly, and it's on the real estate broker side. Okay, so Realty Partners LLC, which is the brokerage, this is where the revenue sharing takes place, and what we pay out on are the monies received by the brokerage. So the company commission split, the monthly fee that an agent pays, lead generation fees that an agent may pay if they participate in the company lead generation program, transaction management services that are optional services that the agent participates in. Those are revenue centers that we pay out through the revenue sharing program. On the profit sharing side, of course, first of all, profit sharing is based on profits. So as our company is growing very rapidly, we're going to reinvest a lot of money in growth and marketing to grow the business. So the profits are going to be much lower during the first few years than they're going to be down the road. If you look at Facebook, now they're posting some very, very healthy profits. But if you go back 5 or 10 years, they were posting losses. So profit sharing obviously is something that is more long-term opportunity, and but the benefit on the profit sharing side is that the profits are paid out on the entire corporate holdings. So as we add auxiliary profit centers, so in other words, title, lending, insurance, other things that are all wholly owned subsidiaries under the Realty Partners International Corporate umbrella, the profit sharing and equity ownership extends to those things. So you have that tremendous long-term opportunity through the profit sharing. And then the equity ownership, again, is an extension of the profit sharing in essence. So let's take a look at the revenue sharing side of the business, which is by far the most exciting one right now, because under the revenue sharing program, a share of revenues is paid out right now every single week. As money comes into the company, the revenue shares are being paid out. And the revenue sharing program is part of our virtual team leader program. So there are few earning opportunities, or few parts to the puzzle, if you will. And we have the virtual team leader program, and you become a virtual team leader as soon as you refer 2 agents to Realty Partners. So here's you, and you refer agent number 1 and agent number 2. So now you have 2 people that you personally referred to Realty Partners, and you become a virtual team leader. And you now start to benefit from the revenue sharing program. So as a virtual team leader, number 1, obviously, you qualify for revenue sharing. Number 2, you now also become eligible for team leader and executive and director bonuses. So our focus obviously right now is on growth. And as you help grow the business, you have the ability to get these additional bonuses. And the first bonus is the team leader bonus. When you help, let's say this is Sally here, and you help Sally get 2 agents of her own. So Sally refers 2 agents. You help Sally become a team leader. And now Sally is a personal referred team leader, and you would receive a team leader bonus, which is $500. And this is a brand new program that we just, I apologize. This is a brand new program that we just introduced, and we already had our first person that received her team leader bonus. Now, if you help 5 people become a team leader, then you will also be able to qualify as a executive and receive a $5,000 executive bonus. And if you help 5 people become an executive, then you will become a director bonus. And this is all on top of the fast start bonuses that we have in place, because a fast start bonus really is something to kickstart someone's path down the road towards associate, junior partner during the first 30 days, but it's really not part of the revenue sharing and virtual team leader bonus. So how does a revenue sharing bonus work? Like I said, all the money that comes into Realty Partners' direction, whether it's fees, commission split, lead generation, or transaction coordinator services, all of those funds are being paid out into the revenue sharing program. And the revenue sharing program was designed to be as easy as possible. And so I chose a binary structure, which is easy to understand, easy to explain, but which also has an incredible amount of power behind it, because how it links everyone together. So let me give you, first of all, an overview of how a typical agent that comes into the company that is not a superstar that goes out and refers 2-3 people and hits the fast start promotion, but just a typical agent that comes into the company, how it unfolds. So here you have, let's call him Joe, and Joe joins the company, and Joe is on his sponsor's left-hand side, and this will become important as I walk you through this program. The left-hand side is Joe's outside leg, and will most likely become Joe's power leg. So Joe joins the company. He's obviously going to look around at, okay, how can I get set up? How can I get my business going? How can I get the lead generation going? How can I get some transactions going? And he talks about Realty Partners a little bit, but he's not going to immediately bring someone on. So what happens is the person that referred Joe or someone above them may end up bringing someone on board, and that person will end up spilling over below Joe. So Joe may already have a person below him, and in many cases, he may have several people below him. We have agents right now, they bring their first person on board, but they already had 10 people below them through spillover from their upline. And not just their upline, but let's say if this person refers someone before Joe does, you're going to see growth on Joe's power leg. And so now Joe brings on his first person. Joe refers Sally, and Sally is Joe's first person. And Sally may not be placed directly under Joe because, again, through spillover and through time, other people were placed below Joe first. And I can tell you, as a matter of fact, probably 80% of the agents that are participating and that are active within the revenue sharing program that have hit the team leader status have had other people placed below them before they ever got there. So let's say Joe now gets his second person, number 2. And so now Joe is a virtual team leader. Now Joe is active and he can start to earn residual income. He can start to earn his revenue sharing bonuses. And the revenue sharing plan really is quite beautiful in a way that once Joe is active and remains active, and in order to be active, you have to have one person on your right side and one person on your left side. Once that happens, Joe's volume will continue to carry forward. So let's say, for example, if we go back in time a little bit, before Joe, and let me clean this here up because it's looking a little ugly. So let's say here, before Joe got a second person, Joe is not active yet. So every week, volume that is generated, meaning any kind of closings or fees generated by any of these people, by this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, anything that happens on Joe's left side is below Joe. Maybe this person referred someone and maybe they referred someone. All of this volume here collectively gets flushed every week because Joe is not active yet within the revenue sharing program. So there might be $5, $10, $15, $20,000 in volume generated. And because we're dealing in real estate, there may be a $10,000 commission at closing. $7,500 goes to the agent, $2,500 goes to the company. So it doesn't require a lot of those closings to come up with $10, $15, $20,000 in volume. But because Joe is not active yet, he can see in his back office, all right, last week I had $5,000 in volume, and then it zeroed out and it starts over the following week at 0. And then that week he might have had $2,000 in volume, and then it zeroes out again. And so once Joe refers his second person and Joe now becomes active, the volume no longer gets erased and it just continues to carry forward. And so what happens is that in many cases, Joe, he just signed up a second person, and it might take a while until the second person has their first closing or until this person brings on someone of their own. The volume that is generated on the left-hand side carries forward and is not lost. So that creates opportunity for Joe. If Joe looks in his back office and he sees, Jesus, I got $30,000 in volume on the left-hand side that I have not been able to capture because my volume on the other side is still very, very low, Joe will feel, oh, let me get some more people onto my right-hand side. And so here's how the compensation calculation works within the revenue sharing program. Let me clean this up a little bit here. You basically have a team on each side. So Joe, well, let's make this you. So you joined Realty Partners and you have a left team and you have a right team when you're active. And that team can grow rapidly or not so rapidly. In reality, most people that join will not refer anyone, or they may refer 1 or 2 people. Some people who join will go on to build very big teams. So, but as your organization grows, as your team grows, volume is calculated every week. Every Monday morning, the software will calculate, okay, how many transactions did we have? How many closings? How many fees on the left side? And how many do we have on the right-hand side? And this will carry down to infinity. So if this is the power leg, because we have spillover from the top, then you might have, let's say, $50,000 in volume here, and over here you're just getting started to build. You have 2 people, and let's say this week you had a closing and there was $2,000 in volume on this side here. Well, our software every Monday morning looks at what is the total volume on the left and the right, and then it will match volume in $250 increments. So it'll take 250 from the left and 250 from the right. And so we have 2,000 on the right and 50,000 on the left. So we can match only 8 times $250, which would be, 250 times 8 is 2,000. So it'd be 8 cycles. Each cycle is $250, which pays out $25. So 8 cycles of $250 equals $2,000, which would pay out $200 in commission, okay? So this particular week, we would have 8 cycles of 2,000. The 2,000 get deducted here, so we would have 0 at the end of the pay cycle is run. We deduct $2,000 here. We have $48,000 carry forward, and so that carries forward. So let's say the next week, we have $5,000 in volume here, and we only have $100 in volume here. One of those two guys is paying their monthly fee. Well, that would give us a total of $100 here and a total of $53,000 here. Well, it's not enough to run a $250 cycle, so it'll just carry forward to the next week. Let's say next week we again have $100 here, which would bring it up to $200. And we have $3,000 here, which would bring it up to $56,000. Again, there's not enough to cycle to do a $200. So the payout is going to be 0, of course, and it carries forward. So now this next week, let's say there is a small closing and it pays $1,200 in commissions to the company. So now we're up to $1,400. And over here, let's say we had $4,000 in volume. So now we're up to $60,000. And $1,400, we can run 5 $250 cycles. 5 times 250 would be $1,250. So it would deduct the $1,250 here, and it would deduct the $1,250 here. It would pay out $125, 10% of the $1,250, and the carry forward would be $150 here, and the carry forward here will be $58,750. And that's how it continues to accrue and accumulate and carry forward. And of course, now at that point, your goal is to grow this side here. So your goal is to increase your weak side, so to speak. In essence, you get paid 10% of the volume on your weak side in $250 increments. And so you need to grow that side. And the wonderful thing with the binary program is that, number one, there is a lot of interconnectedness and teamwork. If you are up here, and let's say you refer one person right away, and then you refer another person right away, but then this person refers someone, and then this person refers 2 people, and then you refer another person and bring them down here, and you refer another person, you bring them down here, and then this person refers another person, bring them here, and this person refers another person and brings them here, and this person brings someone, and then someone from your top refers someone that comes down here. This person here that was brought on board not only benefits his or her sponsor, the person somewhere further up that referred this person, but this person also refers this person or benefits this person and 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 you, of course. So a lot of excitement builds in this type of binary structure because you're not limited by a fixed number of levels where you only get paid on 4, 5, or 6 levels. You literally have the opportunity to get paid on an unlimited number of levels. And again, that creates motivation and that creates excitement. Now, in reality, one of your 2 sides is going to be much, much bigger than the other side, which is why there is a terminology in a binary program of your power leg versus your money leg. So your power leg is the side where you have most of the activity and most of the people, and most of the time it is due to spillover from the top. And so because it is a binary program, if you refer more than 2 people, that person has to go somewhere to the very bottom, either to the very bottom here or to the very bottom here. But those are the only 2 places where another sign up can be placed. And so, and you can set in your back office where you want to have people go. So if you see that you need more people on your right-hand side, you would obviously set your back office to put everyone on your right-hand side until things balance out. But you do have this spillover effect. So when you bring someone down here, it spill over to this person and this person and this person and this person and this person. And so it creates momentum and it creates excitement. Now, spillover only happens on the outside leg. So when you are up here, and let's say you are a recruiter and you're generating a lot of spillover for the people below you because you are putting people to the very bottom of the line, this can only benefit the people that are here or the people that are here on the outside. So as far as your sponsor is concerned, if your sponsor is over and you're on towards the right and you are on your sponsor's left-hand side, then you will only get spillover on this side here. You cannot spill over things down here or down here. You can't. You can only spill over to the outside. So this outside leg generally will be the power leg, and this side here is called the money leg because you obviously get paid based on the volume on your lower side, because it has to match volume between the 2. And if you have $1 million on one side and $1,000 on the other side, then it really doesn't matter whether you had $1 million or $1,000 or $5,000. You're only going to get paid based on the volume on the weaker side, which is that $1,000. Now, it also is a great equalizer. You know, a lot of people think, well, Thomas Hyman, you're a lucky guy. You were there, you know, at the very beginning, and so you're going to do the best. And that's actually not true, because even though I started this thing and I basically kicked the snowball down the hill by being the only one that did any recruiting initially, we are now at the point where we have many other leaders that are starting to recruit. And so if I look at my 2 legs, I can tell you right now that, you know, as of Monday morning after the payroll ran, I had about $36,000 in volume here carrying forward, and I had only about $150 in volume here on the right-hand side. So I have a lot more activity on the left-hand side and a lot more volume. And here's the interesting point. I actually recruited 2 times as many people onto the right-hand side than I did onto the left-hand side. So my focus right now, of course, as I talk to agents and I continue to recruit, is to move people over onto my right-hand side to try and balance things out. But there are already right now people within the organization that will do much, much better than me. So you could be down here and you could build a huge organization and become a senior partner and have thousands and thousands of people in your group, which would be great for me in the sense that that would be my power leg, and I would have all these people underneath me generating this incredible volume. But if I don't balance it out on the right-hand side, it really doesn't mean much. Timing in a binary plan is critically important. And so right now, all of you are really at a fantastic place and time because our company is still so young. I mean, it really is a ground floor and startup opportunity, but we're also now, I would call it past the point of no return. We're continuing to grow, and it's not because of me being the main growth driver anymore. It's not because we're investing a ton of money and losing money. The company is profitable, actually. And it's continuing to grow and continuing to grow. Whether we will have 250 or 500 or 5,000 people a year from now is really up to the agents, but it is beginning to build momentum. And so, we will see what other companies see that get into this momentum phase where, you don't see very much happening at all here in the first few years, but then eventually you get to this point where things just take off exponentially. And within a binary structure, because you have the ability to benefit from infinite levels, timing does become very, very critical. In your typical matrix program, like KW, for example, has a matrix that is maxed out at 7 levels, or EXP has a matrix which really most people will never ever get past the first level, because you have to have 5 recruits, personal recruits, to get anything on your second level and beyond, which 99% of people will never recruit 5 people. With Realty Partners, you don't have a limit of levels. And so if you are here and you refer 2 people, and that's all you did, and let's say those 2 people refer at least 1 each, and then maybe they refer 2, and then maybe this person here gets going, and this person here gets going. Over time, this organization is going to grow. And if you right now said, well, you know what, I'm going to look at this, I'm going to wait a little bit, I don't know, let me just see how it goes. So let's say you're not here and you wait, and in August we're going to be at the Realtor Convention, and without a doubt that's going to build momentum. And so let's say you wait, and you wait a couple of months, and a couple of months later you decide to join, and then this here will be you. So all of these people here and all of the organizations that they're going to build could have been below you, but now they're above you. And so that truly is one of the key factors why timing is so important in a binary plan. Now I want you to hear me. This is about potential. This is not about guarantee, because whether you get involved up here or you get involved down here, if you only refer 1 person and never become active, or you only refer 2 people and that second person maybe never refers anyone, and you only get to benefit on their volume of their personal production, then it wouldn't make any difference. But if you want to build a business and recruit and grow an organization, then absolutely it makes a difference whether you have a giant group on your left-hand side or you're starting out down here. On that note, by the way, let's say that you said, you know what, I'm not going to be a big recruiter. I'm just going to refer 2 people so I can become a junior partner and get a decent profit share down the road. And I'm fine doing that. So I'm just going to get these 2 people. And so maybe this side here continues to grow because of spillover from the top. But this side, this is all it's going to be on the right-hand side. This person here, they're a performer. They do, $2, $3, $4 million in business, but they have 0 interest in recruiting, which is fine. Looking at KW stats, for example, only 1 in 8 KW agents ever refer someone else. So it's very possible that this happens. But you still have tremendous benefit. Not only do you have a $5,000 cap reduction every single year as a result of those 2 people, so that's $5,000 value to you every single year for those 2 people. But let's just say that this person here caps out and pays $15,000 into the company every year, even if they don't do any lead generation or transaction coordinator services or other things that would drive that number up even. But if that's all they do, you would still have a $1,500 a year residual income every single year that that person is with the company. So you're getting your $5,000 cap reduction plus this $1,500. And if for some reason you decide to, okay, maybe I'm going to refer someone else, or you run into someone that is excited about the fact that your cap is only $10,000 and you're getting $1,500 a year in free money on top of that, you just might get that person interested and they join the company, and then maybe they go gangbusters and start referring people, and 2, 3, 4 years down the road, this thing might kick into momentum and start growing your organization. So it's a very, very, very powerful program, whether you consider yourself a strong recruiter or not. So let's talk about, how much money can you make with this binary program, and we have some earning caps. The first cap is $1,000 a week if you aren't qualified for any level. So let's say if you refer 2 people and those 2 people aren't doing much production, maybe they're just out there recruiting, but they're not selling anything themselves, so their volume doesn't benefit you. And if you're just out there recruiting and not really selling much, you might never get the $7,500 in volume to qualify for associate, so you might just be without a rank. If you become associate, then your cap is now $2,500. When you become a junior partner, your cap goes up to $5,000. As a partner, and congratulations to Rick Markison, who recently, just a couple of weeks ago, made partner. Your cap is $10,000. And once you get to senior partner, your cap is $25,000. And so those are fantastic numbers, obviously, especially $10,000 a week or $25,000 a week. How can you get there? Is it even possible? Why would we put out a number like that? And as you know, there are always a few people that just become superstars and decide to really, put pedal to the metal to help grow the business. And it doesn't matter what company it is, that will earn huge, huge, huge incomes. And so with Realty Partners, that opportunity absolutely is there. And so let's do the numbers. On average, we can say that an agent will generate about $10,000 a year for the company. Okay, so the agent pays $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year plus their commission split. Obviously, not everyone is going to cap out. Some use transaction coordinator services on every single deal that they do. Some don't. Some utilize the company lead generation services. Dave Sparger, for example, had 3 or 4 closings just recently with company lead generation. So the company had revenue from him on that, obviously. So, but on average, you can figure $10,000 a year. Okay. So in order to make $25,000 a week or $100K per month or 1.2 million per year, you know that you would have to generate 10 times that on your weak side. So here's you, and you have your left team and your right team. And so the math really becomes pretty easy. To do $1,000 a week, which is $4,000 a month, would be $48,000 a year. So you would have to have $480,000 on your weak side, on your lower side. To do $2,500 a week, which is $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year, you would need to have 1.2 million a year on your weak side. To do 5,000, obviously be twice that, so it'd be 2.4 million in volume. To do 10,000 would be twice that, so it'd be $4.8 million. And to do the $25,000 would be 12 million, be 10 times the $2,500 a year in volume. If you divide that by $10,000, that would mean on average 48 agents on your weak side. Here it would be 120 agents on your weak side, 240 agents on your weak side, 480 agents on your weak side, 1,200 agents on your weak side. So that's what it would take. Your strong side, your power leg, never mind whether there are, 5,000 agents, 500 agents, 50,000 agents. I can tell you right now, my goal for the company is at some point to get to 100,000 plus agents. And with what we have to offer and being the only company that truly has true agent ownership, where the agents actually own the business and get to benefit from title, lending, insurance, and other things we add to it down the road, as we grow, we'll become more attractive and people will come to us in droves. I foresee it happening. It's obviously going to take time to get there. It's not going to happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day. But when we get to 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 agents, those agents are going to be below someone. How they're going to be split up, how they're going to be distributed is anyone's guess. But will there be people that will have 100, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 people below them? Absolutely, without a doubt. Are there going to be a lot of people that will become a senior partner and have an organization to pay out that much? The answer, of course, is no, but there will be some. It's the opportunity. It's the great thing, about entrepreneurship. And so, again, the revenue sharing program is a huge opportunity that right now pays out off the top every Monday morning. So the money that comes in this week, next Monday, the checks are cut, and they're electronic checks actually, but you get paid next Monday for the volume. Whether the minimum check is $25, but whether you get $25 or $250 or $750, once you are a team leader, once you have two people that you personally refer to the company, you will start to get your earnings. So let me hop on to the Q&A. I saw things pop up a few times, so I'm going to go ahead and look at these questions here, and I'm going to answer them live. So Susan asked, can we refer people outside the state or concentrate just on the state of Florida? It's such a great question. First of all, I want you to understand that in our corporate structure, RPI, which is Realty Partners International, which is owned, 55% is ownership is set aside for the agent and associates, and 45% is Realty Partners Holdings that right now with the founding stock grant you get to participate in. This company will always own everything, okay? So right now we have Realty Partners here in Florida only, but my goal is to go nationwide, and really becomes a function of the money. We could go nationwide tomorrow if we had sufficient resources to do it. Obviously, we're not going to give away the company to make that happen, so we're going to walk before we run. But my goal is by the end of the year, we're going to be firmly in the greater Miami area, actually the Fort Lauderdale to Miami corridor. And then next year, we're going to expand throughout the rest of Florida and probably into the Southeast. We have someone on staff right now that is a licensed broker in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. My goal is to go nationwide. So once we are in other states, absolutely, you can recruit in the other states. So this is going to be anywhere Realty Partners will do business at. Another question, how do I know if an agent signs up under my name? So with the system that we have in place, when you give someone your referral link and they request information, you get notified that the person filled out that form to sign up for a webinar, to sign up for an event, or to request information. And then you're protected for a year. Once they register, then they're going to be locked to you for a year. And if they join, then you obviously get notified. When you refer someone, you'll actually get an email that says, hey, XYZ just signed up under you. So you get a notification right away, and it's automated by the system. And the agents that have done that, Susan asked a question, she just joined us recently. That can tell you it just works like a charm. Okay, somebody asked, as a team leader, what are you responsible for? And that's such a great question. That's what we call it, a virtual team leader program. So in a typical team, when I first looked at real estate and got started, and I did just under 100 transactions my first year with Remax, I built a team. You know, I had 4 buyer agents, etc. So my responsibility was as a rainmaker, and I was following the Craig Proctor process, program at the time. And my job was to generate business for my team, and I took 50% of the commission for that. So it was a typical buyer agent 50-50 split. With the virtual team leader program, you're not responsible for anything to your agents. Now, if you're a very experienced agent and you decide to bring on board someone that is brand new or not experienced, and you become their mentor, then you would take responsibility for them until they pass their first 3 transactions. And that means you got to help them with, all aspects of real estate, writing offers, writing contracts, and so forth. But on the virtual team leader program, if you are here and you refer Sally and you refer, Steve, and you're not responsible to them in any way, shape, or form. They're part of the company. The company is responsible for their training and support, and everyone in the company will be looking to see them succeed because of our unique system. When somebody succeeds, it helps everyone. First of all, when somebody comes in the company, there's almost like a 50-50 chance that they're below you somewhere. So you're going to benefit from their volume and production. But more importantly, what they're bringing in adds value to the company and helps the company grow and helps the company be successful. And you, as an associate, junior partner, partner, senior partner, obviously are interested in seeing the company be successful. Okay, great question again. And Susan, thank you so much for asking so many great questions. And anyone else wants to post some questions, please do. She asked, will the spillover always go to the outside? The answer is yes. So here's how the system works. So let's say you join Realty Partners tonight. Obviously, you have a sponsor, someone that referred you, and you are on that person's left or right side. There's no choice. You have to be, because that person only has two sides, left and right, underneath them. So let's say, for argument's sake, that your sponsor is up towards the right and you are on your sponsor's left-hand side. So this is your sponsor's left-hand side. And there may be, you may be your sponsor's first recruit and be directly under them, or there may be 10 people in between you and the sponsor. It makes no difference. When you bring on your first person, the system forces the first person to go to the outside. So the first person you bring on board will always go to your outside leg, and your outside leg is based on where you are relevant to your sponsor. You're on your sponsor's left-hand side, so the left-hand side is your outside leg, and the other leg here is your inside leg. And this policy of forcing the first person on your outside leg also helps with generating that spillover momentum, because, again, you might have 3, 4, 5, 10 people below you before you bring on your first person, and that person is forced onto your outside leg, and it's going to create spillover for everyone in between. And then when this person above you brings on their first recruit, that person goes down onto the outside leg and creates spillover for everyone in between. The second person you bring on board goes on your inside leg. And that's where the forced system stops. After your first 2 recruits, you get to decide where you put the next person. And obviously it's going to be driven by volume, and it's going to be driven by maintaining balance and security for your team, because you want to make sure ultimately, especially when you build a large team, that you have at least 2 people on each side. Because if you only have 1 person here and then you put 3, 4, 5, 6 down here, and this person here quits, dies, something happens, then guess what? You're no longer active, and you start losing your volume. Your volume that carried over before is now wiped out again until you become active again. The beautiful part, though, is that you never, ever, ever lose anyone in your organization. So let's say, for example, you had a bunch of people below you when this person here decided to get out of the business, and you now became inactive until you replace that person, and your next person that you bring on board goes down here. while you're active again and your binary organization, your group is still intact. What you lost is the volume that gets carried over every week. That now gets flushed until you're active again, but you never lose your organization. You never lose the structure that is in place. And that's a wonderful part of the way the binary program is structured. So let's take a look. Lorraine says, I heard you say several times regarding the binary plan is that timing is everything. Can you explain that? And what is the optimum timing we need to aim for? And timing for what? Great question. So again, it's really just about the growth of the structure. So, you know, here we are right now. And so let's say as time goes by, of course, people come on board. And, you know, last week, I think we had 5 people come on board, or last 7 days or so, and it's increasing. And we're having more people come on board now per week than we had come on in a month or every other month. And it's growing, obviously. So if you joined us today, then you would be here, and whatever spillover happens from the top, and again, there's a lot of spillover generated, plus the activities that you do when you bring someone on board, and plus the people that they bring on board, it may mean that 3 months from now, you might have 15 people below you. Opposed to if you wait 3 months before you join and you joined down here, those 15 people and their organization would all be above you. So if they're below you, their volume is part of your binary group. They would be on your left-hand team, and you would have all that volume. If you join down here, then this is your left-hand team and right-hand team, and everything that happened above would be, you know, above you. You wouldn't get any benefit from it. So again, timing is everything in the binary plan, with the respect that if you join today or you join in 3 or 4 days. We had one gentleman that looked at the company for quite some time and came to several meetings. And we also had another lady that joined recently that did the same thing. And I can tell you right now, if they had just joined a little sooner, they would have had several more people below them. You know, as a matter of fact, this gentleman, he said, okay, I'm going to join. But then he waited 3 days to join. And there were 2 other people that were at that meeting that joined that were above him and could have been below him. So I hope that answers it. Are there charts so you can see what's happening under you? The answer is yes. When you, let me clear this out. When you go ahead and become an agent with Realty Partners, you get a login for your back office. And in your back office is a tab that says team, and you click on that. You can see your entire genealogy down to the very, very bottom. And you can see what's happening on your left-hand side. You can see what's happening on the right-hand side. You can hover over those people. You can see who their sponsor is. You can see what their volume is. So you can absolutely see everything that's going on below you. Clyde asks, this seems to be following the multi-level marketing approach to recruiting. Is there a strategy on how to build the most effective downline organization? Yes, I mean, it is a multi-level approach, but it's very, very different from your typical matrix program. You know, your typical network marketing company, like KW, for example, you're here. Oops, you know, you are here, and then you, let's say, bring on 2, 3, 4 people on your first level, and then hopefully they'll bring on a bunch of people on your second level, and then hopefully they'll bring on a bunch of people on your 4th level, and so forth. And you get paid through a finite number of levels, usually between 5 and 7 levels. And so that's your typical multi-level plan. And of course, the challenge with this is that if you recruit 10 people, you might have a huge organization front line, but it doesn't do the people below you any good. Or if your sponsor above you recruits 25 people, that's great for that sponsor, but it doesn't do you or anyone below you any good. Whereas with a binary structure, if you actually in fact do recruit 5, 10, 15, 20 people, those people go to the very bottom on the right or left hand side, and as a result will create tremendous spillover and excitement. Now, as far as strategy is concerned, the main strategy initially is to keep your organization balanced, your volume balanced. And you can see that in your back office, what the volume is on your right-hand side versus your left-hand side and how much carries forward. And of course, if you see that you have a ton of volume on one side and not so much on the other side, then you want to build up the other side to match that. The second strategy is stability. You want to have at least 2 people on each side. So what that would look like is if you're here, you have number 1 and number 2, and let's say this is your power leg, and you end up having 20 people on this side, and you only have 1 person here. So number 3 you would bring here, but then I would put number 4 down here, and then carry on with number 5, number 6 to build out the money leg. So this is the money leg, and this is the power leg. So you want to create balance in terms of volume. So you want to continuously monitor where does more volume happen, and it's not always going to be static. This person here may become a superstar, and all of a sudden this leg here could become your power leg, and this here now is your money leg, and you have to shift gears. So you want to keep an eye on the volume, but you also want to have at least 2 people on each side, so you don't end up dead in the water if one of them leaves for whatever reason. Hope that answers the question. Okay. Sue says, are we going to be able to send this webinar to possible recruits? Yes, actually, I am live streaming right now the webinar to our Facebook page, our regular public Facebook page, not Workplace. And I'm also going to upload the video to YouTube, and then you can do with it as you please. You can email it to people or do, whatever works for you. Another question, what happens if I'm placed in my sponsor's right leg? Will there be any spillover on my power leg? Well, here's the thing. If, and I happen to know who that is, so I can tell you that your sponsor is actually the reason why my left-hand side is doing so much better than my right-hand side. And so, when you're joining an organization of someone that is just starting out, and let's say, you're the second person that comes on board here, and you don't have any choice over where you're going to be placed with that person, then that person here, let's say if this person is a quote unquote dud and never does anything else, then, well, you're not going to get any spillover from that person. And you just need to focus on building out your group and create your own power leg. So there are never any guarantees. You cannot count on your sponsor being this powerful person that's going to generate a ton of spillover. In reality, you're going to fall into 1 or 2 categories as an agent. You're going to be an agent that is not going to be primarily concerned with building and recruiting. And so you're going to, maybe refer 1, 2, 3 people, and you're going to still have great benefit from it in terms of your cap reduction and the overrides that you're going to get. And you never know, one of those people might just go on a tear and become a senior partner. Or you're really concerned with, okay, I want to climb the ladder. I want to become a junior partner. I want to become a partner. I want to become a senior partner. And in that regards, it absolutely makes 0 difference who you're going to be placed under, okay? Because you're going to be paid on your weak volume. If you're going to be placed underneath someone where you are on their power leg, and this inside leg could be the power leg, the right person, this could be the power leg for them. But so if you have 1,000 agents on your power leg and you only generate 1 agent over yourself over here, you still only get paid on your weak side. And so again, it is going to be ultimately up to you how far you're going to go. If your goal is to climb the ladder and become a senior partner, you obviously have to recruit 10, 15, 20 people to make that happen anyhow. And it won't be an issue. Okay, Tanya just posted here. She is actually hosting a Sunday night mastermind. You have to be a Realty Partner agent to attend, and obviously most of the people on this webinar right now are Realty Partners agents. When you join, you'll get the information on it, but Tanya is hosting a Sunday night, 7 p.m. mastermind online session, and it'll be a very powerful way to learn how to generate referrals and grow your business. Okay, Lorraine asked, just to clarify, I'm the only person who can put people in my money line since there's no spillover. Well, so here you are, Lorraine, and let's just say this is your power leg and this is your money leg. And you start putting people in, and your power leg grows because you get spillover from the top. And, you have your first person here, and then you put your second person here. You are the only person that there's no spillover from the top. So you're the only person that can put people here. And those people, of course, can put people in there. So this person here, this is going to be their power leg. When this person brings on their first person, it's going to go here. When this person brings on their first person, it's going to go here. And then you might bring on person number 4 down here. So, and this again illustrates also why we designed the system the way it is in terms of the first person goes on the outside. Agent will only refer one person. Most agents are not going to refer 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 people. So even if this person only refers one, it's going to create spillover and benefit everyone else. This person only refers one, it creates spillover, benefit everyone else. And then this person, let's say, refers one, it creates spillover and benefit everyone else. But yes, on your inside leg, which is most of the time your inside leg is your money leg, not always, but most of the time, on your inside leg, only you can place people down here or people that are within the organization. Your sponsor cannot put someone in there. So I'm reading this here. Okay, thanks. Thanks. Let's see here. Oh, very good question. Susan asked, if a person leaves, does the leg just move up or what happens? Great question. Okay. So, and there's obviously attrition. We don't have the kind of attrition that most real estate companies have. And, the attrition in the real estate industry is, I think, 35% on average. Ours is below 10%, but there will be some attrition. Some people will leave without a doubt. So, so let's say, Susan, you're here. And there are some agents here, and there are some agents here, and then you have some agents here, obviously. And let's say this person here referred someone and has a group. So here's what happens. On, let's say this person here leaves, and let's say this person here leaves. Let's say those 2 people quit. Well, the difference between those 2 people is that this person here has someone below them. This person here does not, okay? Let's just presume this person joined, didn't refer anyone, and this person here came from, above them, spillover, but this person here referred no one. On January 1st, the software is going to look at, okay, who is inactive in the system? And if they're inactive and they don't have anyone that they referred, then they just get wiped out, and it's in essence moving up, but they just get wiped out, and the structure of the organization, of course, stays the same. If somebody has referred someone, like this person here, then they will just remain on the system as an inactive person. So they're not going to be removed. There's not going to be a change in the structure. everything will stay the same. So as long as this person here that is inactive on January 1st has someone below them, they're going to stay. Now, if everyone here were to go away 2 years from now, and then January 1st, this person is inactive and has no one below them, then they would get wiped out. But that's how the system works. And the net is that you never lose anything in your structure, and the structure doesn't change. And it has to be done this way because obviously everything affects everyone else going up the line. All right, we're going a couple of minutes over, but let me just answer these last two questions. Somebody asked, what does total PGV mean in the back office? So we have terms for volumes. We have PGV and we have GSV, are two terms that are used in the back office. PGV stands for your personal group volume. And your personal group volume is you and anyone you personally referred, okay? And it could be right here, or if you refer to your first person and they're 20 levels below you, it doesn't make a difference, but it's you plus personal referrals. And for purposes of the profit sharing qualification, we use the PGV. The PGV is the volume of you and anyone you personally referred. So if you personally referred 5 people, their volume and your volume together qualifies you for advancements in the profit sharing plan. And of course, your personal recruits are the ones where you get cap reduction benefit from. And again, you're within the binary tree, the personal referral might be 20 levels below you. It doesn't make a difference. The GSV is your group sales volume. And so the group sales volume is basically the volume in your binary organization. So everything on the left-hand side and everything on the right-hand side down to infinite levels, however deep the organization goes, that will be your group sales volume. And again, the group sales volume, once you're active, meaning you're a virtual team leader, you have 2 personal referrals, now that group sales volume will carry forward. If you're not active, then you see the group sales volume on your reports on the back office, but it gets flushed every Monday morning. Okay, how many agents are on the team right now? We're just under 50. We had just someone switch over to referral partner status from referral agent status from referrals from regular agent status because they're not able to pay their MLS dues, but just under 50. So we're halfway there to the cutoff on the founding stock grant. All right, Lorraine asked, suppose the one left in the power leg is vested, even though they left, they continue to get paid, correct? So here's the thing. We have a 5-year vesting program on all of our stuff. And so if you're here and you have your organization, however big it might be, and you retire after 5 years, so after 5 years with the company, the binary plan is separate from the profit sharing. So in the profit sharing plan, you have to be vested at that level. You have to qualify for the profit sharing level 5 years in a row to be vested and be a shareholder. In the binary plan, in the revenue sharing plan, if you're with the company for 5 years and then you retire, you are vested after 5 years and you continue to receive earnings. Also, God forbid, if somebody is not vested yet, but they pass away, then we have a survivor benefit. Immediately they vest both on the profit sharing and in the binary. In the revenue sharing program, they fully vest immediately. Now, remember, you have to remain active though. So let's say you retire or somebody passes away with a huge organization. If you only have 1 person on this side and 2 people on this side and a huge organization below them, if this person now leaves and you're down to 0 and you're no longer active, then your earnings obviously stop. So we want to have a stable revenue sharing organization where you can say, you know what, I'm going to be fine for a long time, because obviously once you're gone, once you're retired or you've died, you can no longer recruit people and put them back into your organization. You want to make sure you have a sound structure, that you have multiple people on each side. Another thing that you can do is, if you're getting out of the real estate business, you can switch over to our referral agent company, which is only $100 a year, and you don't have to be a member of the association. You don't have to be a member of the board. You obviously will not have access to a lot of things, but you will still be able to remain active in the revenue sharing program, and you would actually be able to still recruit people into the revenue sharing program. So something to think about. You may want to consider remaining active as a referral agent. But again, once, let's say if somebody passes away and dies, then of course there's no more adding to it, no more recruiting to it. So you want to make sure that you have a solid organization. I mean, personally, I would think for myself, I would want to have at least 10 people on each side, which, are there guarantees that those 10 people are going to be there forever? No, of course not, but they're hopefully certainly going to be there for quite a while to come. All right, that's it with all the questions. I want to thank all of you. I'm so respectful of your time, and I apologize that we went over. It's now 5:12. I meant to go for an hour, but thank you so much. And as stated, I will post this information to, I'm going to post this information to the YouTube channel that we have. And also it is being live broadcast on Facebook. So you're going to see the recording on our Facebook business page, which is facebook.com/Realty Partners LLC. And thank you so much again. And here's my contact information again. Any questions? If you're people that are not part of Realty Partners yet, obviously, email me. Otherwise, please contact me on so much.